Let's speak to political analyst Linda Schacht. She joins me now from Atlanta. And Linda, our correspondent Jim Spellman raised a point with what a lot of Democrats are now saying. What was the point?
Well, the worst way to look at this is that the Democrats caved and did not get what they were asking for. The best way to look at this from a Democratic standpoint is they still have the health care issue going into the midterm elections.
Could the internal division threaten the bill's final passage in the House, or is it your sense that this is, for the most part, a done deal?
Oh, no, I think this is a done deal. Mike Johnson doesn't have anything in this deal that he doesn't like, because there is no required vote on health care subsidies in the bill. The House has kind of done a pinky promise. The Senate has done a pinky promise saying, okay, we'll hold a vote on the health care subsidies. But Mike Johnson has said he sees no reason to hold a vote on that. So the Democrats didn't get the one thing that they wanted.
Yeah, so what does this mean, Linda, for millions of Americans on ACA or Affordable Care Act?
Well, it means that the increases that they saw in their premiums when the notices went out early November will stay in place. And some people will have doubled the premiums they need to pay. Some people will say they don't have that money, and we will have people who will have to go off health care. That's why, in some ways, this is a win for the Democrats if you look at it from a strictly political standpoint, because all of those people are going to be very angry going into the 26 elections.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer did not vote for this bill to reopen the government, and yet he's facing intense backlash with even calls for him to resign. What is that about, Linda?
Well, you know, it's hard to be a minority leader, or in particular, a Democratic minority leader in the Senate. I worked in the Senate for a majority leader, and there are certain things that a majority leader can do or a party leader can do, and certain things they can't. When you're the head of a Democratic Party in the Senate, you are herding cats. And so, yes, he should have been able to hold his caucus together, but we've known that these 8 people were negotiating for several weeks now, and he tried to stop it, was unable to stop it, and the calls for him to step down, notably, are not coming from his fellow senators. The calls for him to step down are coming from progressives outside the Senate.
And do you think there will be a political cost for Schumer?
I do, but I've thought for a long time that Senator Schumer will not seek re-election. It is really hard to see him surviving a challenge to his leadership, but those challenges to Senate leadership do not come easily in the middle of a term. So I think he's here until this particular congressional term is up.
And finally, Linda, what is all this chaos and all the infighting really say about Democratic Party unity, especially when they had tried to project stability from day one? Democrats had argued they won't budge until Republicans agree to extend health care subsidies. So really, all this infighting, you got to wonder what the implications are moving forward.
Well, after the elections last week, the Democrats had an opportunity to hold firm and to say, look, the American people are with us. The polls showed that as well, that the American people were with the Democrats on the health care subsidies. The fact that these 8 decided to cave for different reasons shows that they were feeling pressure and looking at the air travel that was just mentioned by your reporter, looking at air travel, looking at the pressure that the Trump administration did a very good job in putting the pressure on even after the elections of last week. So because of that pressure, people, those 8, were looking at Thanksgiving. They were looking at how angry people were going to be around travel on Thanksgiving, and they were looking at people in their states who were hurting because of SNAP benefits, and they decided that it wasn't worth pushing forward, and they decided to vote with Republicans.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Linda Schacht, thank you.